The next two functions that we're going to take a look at here are pretty common as well. Perhaps not as common as the sum function, but you're going to see these two pretty often inside of Excel documents. We're going to look at the built-in min and max functions. Two very similar functions, and in fact, they're going to look very similar in structure. Remember the three parts? Equals, function name, arguments. Very similar to the sum function. Take a look. So I'm back inside my exercise file. Hopefully you've taken a moment to go through and practice that sum function and complete it for the rest of the months and for your row totals as well for each of the bills. Now, if you got any questions on the sum function or functions in general, jump into the Q&A section and ask your questions. Again, I love getting questions. Ask them. All right. So now min and max. To get this set up, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, just so I separate myself from our nice little spreadsheet. I'm going to go into row 11, and I'm going to put in some labels here. These labels, that's all they're going to be, just labels to label our calculations. So I'm going to bring in min, I'm going to hit my enter key, I'm going to bring in max, and I'm just going to get set up for the future videos. I'm going to bring in an average, and I think that'll be it for now. Average, did I spell that right? Looks odd. All right, so here I'm going to go into B11. The first one that we're going to experiment with here is the min function. And like I said, this should feel pretty similar to working with the sum function that we saw earlier. I want to know the minimum value from a range of cells, smallest value. So I'm going to go into B11. I'm going to go to my formulas tab. We can look at our little books. Earlier, we went into math and trig, right? We wanted to do some math type operation. We wanted to sum. We found it here inside of the math function or the math folder, little book. If I scroll on through, I find the m's. There they are. But I don't see the min or the max inside of there. All right, so not inside of there. We got all these other books that we can look through as well. We got financial, logical, text, date, time, lookup and reference. Ooh, I don't know. Where do you find the min and max function? Let's see, there's one called more functions. If I go into there, there's statistical, engineering, cube, information, compatibility, and so on. Let's see, I'm going to guess statistical. And if I scroll through here, I'll find the min function. Now, I knew it was there because I've been using this application forever, right? Well, where do I find it? How do I know where to find this thing at? Well, there's actually a couple different ways that we can do this. We can use the books, and as you become more and more familiar with working inside of Excel and where functions reside, it's going to be a no-brainer. Eventually, you're just going to be typing them out by hand anyways. You may not even go to the formula tab. Well, in the meantime, as you're learning functions, I'm going to hop out of here for a moment. I'm inside of B11. That's where I want the function to show up. So here, I'm going to go click that little FX button that we talked about in a couple of prior videos. I'm going to click on the little Insert Function button. Here I get the Insert Function window where I can search. I can type in keywords. I can search by category. And down below, they'll give you suggested functions for that search term or that category. So here I can say, I want to find the min function. So I'll type that in, or I can type in minimum or whatever. I'll hit go. Go. Took a moment there. Gave me recommended, and now it's giving me some suggested or recommended functions. And there's min. So the min function returns the smallest number in a set of values. It ignores logical values in text. All right, it's looking for minimum values of numeric values. So with min selected, I'll hit OK. And this will open up the argument window. And look at that. It's already filled in some information for me. Now, let's take a closer look at that. B4 through B10. B4 through B10. Well, I don't really want that. I don't want B4 through B10. So Excel tried to help me, but B10 is empty and B9 is my total. I don't want to include the total. So I'm just going to wipe that out, delete, and I'll go grab B4 through B8. That's it. Returns the smallest number in a set of values. I'll hit OK. And for the month of January, 100 is my smallest value. Candy. Wow, Candy got the smallest one, huh? All right, there's your minimum. Again, it's just little FX button, go search for it, go to the statistical folder, whatever, find min. Should feel very similar to the sum function. Now, let's look at one more, and this is going to be almost identical. I'm going to drop down one more cell into B12 where I've got the max. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back to FX. I'll type in max, go. There's my recommended. I'm going to grab max, hit OK. Same thing. Oh, B11's not right. I want B4 through B8. All right, it's giving me the result. There it is, 1,000. I'll hit OK. And I've got my maximum value, the largest value from that set of data, being 1,000. That's it. Min and max, two more predefined functions built into the Excel application. Already built for us. We just got to use it, put in the range of cells that we want, and it's done the job for us. So try this out. Get those two, but then also do it for the rest of the months. Get all these cells filled out with your min and max. And if you want to do it for the total or for the percentage, feel free to do it there as well. But get some practice in there. Then we'll jump into the next video and we'll take a look at our next predefined calculation. We're going to look at the average function.